Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name's David Suter, and I manage THE's 3 sets of awards. Obviously, we're going to run through a few details about the MENA Awards, so hopefully you'll find this session useful. And just to let you know that this session is being recorded and will be available on demand afterwards, so you don't need to be frantically trying to take notes now. If you have any questions at all during this presentation, if you want to put those in the chat box or the Q&As, we'll answer those afterwards. And if we don't have time to answer everything, we'll email you the responses. Okay, so just a little bit of history first. Many of you will know Times Higher Education best for our suite of World University rankings. And first, I'd like to be clear that our awards are a separate exercise and opportunity. Although the rankings have become increasingly sophisticated since their launch in 2004, and data certainly allows us to measure university performance in a variety of ways, we know that data still cannot capture every aspect of an institution's extraordinary accomplishments in areas such as teaching and learning, research, or outreach. Our awards help to fill in those gaps, and in telling the fascinating and often inspirational stories that the rankings may reflect, that they do not fully explore or celebrate. So just a little background, Times Higher Education launched the THE Awards for UK universities in 2005, which was just a year after the first of our World University rankings. And in 2019, we took these awards overseas for the first time, creating THE Awards Asia. In 2021, we broadened the UK awards by admitting entries from Irish institutions too, and they have performed particularly strongly in the first 2 years. The 2022 ceremony last November was attended by nearly 1,000 people, including more than half of UK and Irish university presidents. Many other key figures from the sector were also there, and most importantly, well over 600 very excited finalists, all making for a wonderful atmosphere. And pre-pandemic, in year one for THE Awards Asia, we were able to host a spectacular ceremony at the Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi. You can see brief highlights on the THE Awards MENA website homepage, and we very much want to replicate this sense of celebration with these new MENA Awards. Around 7 or 8 years ago, a newspaper reporting on a win for one of its city's universities referred to the THE Awards as the Oscars of higher education. And you won't be surprised to hear that we now use that line ourselves, as do our winners, of course. There are other awards in the world of higher education, but they mainly focus on specific academic disciplines or just one of the numerous professional departments within universities, whereas the THE Awards bring those staff together, academics and those in the professional services who make our institutions run so smoothly, as the Oscars themselves honour not just actors and writers, but also the people whose expertise lies behind the camera. So I think one key reason that our THE Awards have become so incredibly popular is that they reflect the true nature of higher education as a unified effort in which every individual, team, school and department plays a crucial part. And THE Awards MENA is a particularly exciting opportunity. This is a region that is among the most vibrant and dynamic in the world, with a higher education environment populated by hugely enthusiastic people driven by a desire to serve both their locality and the wider world. And these factors chime perfectly with THE's desire to identify and share universities' best stories wherever they might be taking place. And that is absolutely key to these awards. Our whole approach is underpinned by a belief that groundbreaking, brilliant work can take place anywhere. Yes, certainly that may be at large, world-famous institutions, but we are looking at innovation in specific category areas. So in this sector, it is equally possible that a less high-profile institution facing its own unique challenges may find new and creative ways of reaching their goals, which others can then learn from. We attract hundreds of entries each year for our awards, so just being shortlisted is a significant achievement for those universities. And with THE now having a huge global reach, even that level of success is a gift for university marketing teams, as it gives them the opportunity to promote positive news about their institution, not just locally, but far beyond. And of course, a win in any category takes those opportunities to a whole new level. And one other key reason why universities are so enthusiastic about entering our awards is the positive effect it has on their own staff. This is something university leaders increasingly tell me, so I asked two of them to explain exactly what the THE Awards means to them. The first, a winner in 2014, said, "We've picked up a lot of awards since, but it was the THE Award that was transformational. It helped improve recruitment, retention, brand recognition, and crucially, staff, student, and stakeholder morale." And the second describes how our internal process for identifying and developing our submissions for the awards is the ideal vehicle to uncover, promote, and celebrate work from across the institution, which means a huge boost to staff morale. Externally, the recognition is considerable and it provides a tangible boost to the reputation and standing of the institution in the sector, but it also speaks to our prospective students and staff and to regional partners. Okay, so that's the backdrop for these awards. In a second, we'll move on to some specific facts and figures around THE Awards MENA 2023. But at this point, I should say thanks to those of you who have entered these awards already, and reassure you that if you learn something during this session and would like to amend an entry that you've already submitted, it can be accessed and edited on the awards platform up until the entry window closes on the 15th of May. So, as I mentioned earlier, following the UK and Ireland and then Asia, here we are in 2023 extending the THE Awards focus to the MENA region. As many of you will know, 14 countries or territories from the Middle East were previously eligible for THE Awards Asia. But this year we decided to take those 14, add 6 more from North Africa, and launch an entirely separate THE Awards MENA, offering a major international platform to recognise outstanding leadership and institutional performance in the region, and to celebrate its higher education excellence in all its diversity. So universities in any of these countries or territories are eligible for THE Awards MENA. Algeria, Bahrain, Djibouti, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, Oman, the Palestinian territories, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Tunisia, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. It's important to say that these awards are entirely inclusive and open to those working at a higher education institution in any of these eligible countries or territories. So yes, world-leading, internationally renowned universities will certainly feature on our shortlists, but they do not have a monopoly on excellence. Every institution, whatever its shape, size, reputation, or field of academic focus, should find categories that allow it to promote what it does best. For THE, underpinning our approach is an awareness that transformational, inspirational, and indeed award-winning work can take place anywhere. So here are the 10 categories that we have for THE Awards MENA 2023. International Strategy of the Year, Leadership and Management Team of the Year, Outstanding Contribution to Environmental Leadership, Outstanding Contribution to Regional Development, Outstanding Support for Students, Research Project of the Year for the Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, and a separate Research Project of the Year for the STEM subjects. Student Recruitment Campaign of the Year, Teaching and Learning Strategy of the Year, and Technological or Digital Innovation of the Year. And as I mentioned in the introduction, it's important to emphasize that our awards are completely separate from our suite of rankings. So rather than submitting data, each entrant is required to submit up to 500 words of text in English, addressing the main themes in the relevant category criteria. So our awards tell the stories that the rankings cannot capture, and rather than the result of a series of statistical calculations, THE Awards MENA submissions will be assessed collectively by a panel of judges. So you should be aiming to capture their attention in your copy. As we say in our guidelines, we're looking for a good story, well told, and backed up with evidence of impact. So how do you enter? I'm sure lots of you are familiar with the website already, but for those yet to commence, please head to theawardsmena.com. We suggest that you read through the entry guidelines and FAQs first, which you can find in the top menu. Then click on the Enter Now button in the gold ribbon beneath the main logo, and you will be taken through to the categories page. Here you will find the 10 categories listed, together with their criteria. Once you have decided which category you wish to enter, simply click the Enter Now button at the foot of the relevant criteria. If you have not entered any of our awards before, you will be asked to create an account. It is free and it's simple to do. And once you have created the account, simply click the gold login button. Then from the drop-down list under Add to Basket, select the category you wish to enter and then click on the green Add Selected button that will appear to the right. The entry form will then appear and you're ready to go. And these are the fields that you will need to complete on the entry form. You can also find these in the entry guidelines and they are hopefully self-explanatory, but I'll quickly run through them all. I should mention that fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory. So first, we ask you for the nominee or key personnel, and here you will enter the names and job titles if you wish to highlight the role of specific people in the work featured in the entry. Then the submission title or project name, if you have one. The project URL is the third thing, or a link to further information about your entry. Again, this is if you have one. This link will be published if the entry is shortlisted. So people will be able to go and read more about the work behind your entry. Fourth is your institution name. And then fifth, the submission text. Now, this is the key part of your entry. Please address the specific criteria here. And remember that there is a strict limit of 500 words. In fact, we do advise you to draft your entry on this website, as the word count may be slightly different to that on other platforms. So maybe once you've created a first draft, drop that into the field on the website, and you will see how many words it says you have used up, and work from there. That's our advice. Sixth is an abridged submission. We'll publish this if the entry is shortlisted. And again, there is a strict word limit. This time it's 150 words. 7 and 8 is for you to attach supporting materials. And there's more detail on the supporting materials on the website, but I will stress here that the 500-word submission is the most important part of your entry. Supporting materials should include information about anything you've mentioned in the 500 words, as well as any additional proof of impact. So these might include screenshots, testimonies, graphs, additional links, etc. It is not a place to simply add more new information that is not included in your 500 words. And these may be printed off at the judging stage. So we limit supporting documents to a maximum of 4 sides of A4, which can either be submitted as one document or 2. And then finally, we ask you for your institution logo. Okay, so finally, let's go through some information and give you some basic advice. You may enter as many categories as you wish, but each entry must be unique. So therefore, no single entry can be entered in more than one category. An institution may enter a single category up to 5 times if those entries are distinctive and completely unrelated to each other. So you may have different STEM projects or arts or humanities projects completely unrelated to each other, and you can enter as an institution up to 5 times. Obviously, any category that asks for a range of pieces of information, you will want to pull that together in one entry. I should say that all entries are completely confidential and shared only with a very small number of THE staff who need to see it, and our judges. So you can include, and this does happen certainly in over the years, it has happened in our previous awards, you can include sensitive information that you don't want to be public. It won't be shared. I would appreciate it if you are doing that, that you also drop an email to us, either to me or to THE Awards MENA at timeshighereducation.com, just to emphasize that point. Entries can be completed by anyone working at an institution or consultants working on an institution's instruction. We ask you to read the criteria quite closely. These are framed broadly to attract a wide range of entries. So if you have a particular project or a piece of work that you are proud of, just look for the category that will allow you to highlight its best elements. And if you are not sure, do feel free to contact me and we can discuss the options. The judges are looking for a good story, well told. In your 500-word submission, don't try to describe every aspect of the work featured in great detail. You will run out of space. 500 words is not as long as you think. So you use this main text to reference the work involved and to describe how it meets the criteria, and then use supplementary documents to offer further information and evidence of impact or success. And the judges are particularly keen to read about work that advances best practice. So if you believe your work is both innovative and transferable, please do make sure that you emphasize that. And finally, there is no right or wrong way to construct your 500-word submission. As long as you only use 500 words, it's up to you how you put your entry together. There is no template for a great entry. We just want you to tell us what you've done, how it is exceptional, and why it deserves recognition from our judges. I often do say at this point that we once received an entry for the THE Awards in the UK that was entirely in rhyming couplets, which was an interesting approach, but certainly not against any rules, and it certainly caught our attention. I honestly can't remember whether it was shortlisted or not, but it shows you that the sorts of things that people do to try and capture our attention while still only offering 500 words of text. Okay, that's it for the overview. If any of you have any questions that you'd like to ask at this point, please feel free to do so now in the Q&A or the chat function. And of course, if anything springs to mind after this session is over, you can always email us at thehighereducation.com, and we will come back to you quite promptly. I mean, particularly as we know that the entry window only has about a month or so to run, maybe a little bit less than that.